Hey there, happy Friday, happy St. Patrick's Day. So I'm a little bit late. My sister called, you know, when it's just kind of those quick phone calls that you think are only going to take a couple minutes and you really need to take them, and it's your sister, you do that. And I knew a lot of you watch on replay, so I knew it would just be totally fine to be just like less than 5 minutes late. And so here I am, and back home from being out in the weather yesterday. We went to Sioux Falls, and yeah, it was not a pretty day to be out and about, and it took us 4 hours to get home instead of the usual like hour and 45 minutes. So that felt like it took our whole day just to go there and back, but it feels good to be home and snuggled back in. And it's still not a great day to be traveling out there today either, but it's St. Patrick's Day, and I have a fun spring card with some green in it that I want to show you. So the friendly gnomes are just so super cute, and I love how things work out. So today I'm preparing this card and I'm getting ready to go live, and I think I'm going to, hey there Tori, I'm going to double check on these Gnomes dies. The stamp set has been in the whole time, but I thought, you know, I'm going to check on the Gnomes dies because they were out of stock, and they almost are like an online exclusive. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too. They're almost like an online exclusive for the fact that they're not in the annual catalog because they carried over, but they're not listed in the mini catalog, and I'll show you where the stamp set is that they coordinate with. And so knowing that they were out of stock, it kind of made it like awkward for me to do this card today. Originally I thought, but I'm going to go through with it, right? And I get my catalog ready to show you where to find it and the product information. I was going to look up to see when the dies are back in stock. They're back in stock, guys. So they weren't supposed to be back till like March 27th. So I had the card all planned, and to have the dies back in stock is just like a day maker for me. It doesn't take much to be a day maker for me. So let me get my camera turned around and show you my card a little bit better here. Alrighty. And I've got some coloring today for those of you that like to color, and I've just got some spring colors that I'm putting together that just made today kind of fun. Using the fresh freesia and mint macaron, and just kind of doing like a little corner peek card for you today. I really like how this one turned out. I wasn't so sure when I was starting what to think of it, but I do like how it turned out. And so some days I don't feel like I'm bragging. Some days it's just, you know, a struggle. And when you're not really sure which direction you're going and it turns out it's success, right? So let me show you where the Friendly Gnomes stamp set is found. First, I'll show you the stamp set images. So there's three main gnomes, and the dies that carried over from the last mini catalog. These gnomes, like, you can make from the dies just a gnome without even stamping from all these parts, with the hat, the nose, the beard, the cute little legs and different things. So know that you can do that. And then so then you got the three main gnomes that you can cut out, as well as other little things on there. And then they've got some great sentiments too. So this has been really fun to work with and everything, and I like the little additional like chipmunk, bird, grass, and balloon and such like that. So that is found in the current mini catalog, the purple one here on page 40. And so like I said, on this it says coordinates with Gnomes dies. So if you go to my online store, stampinup.com, just type in the search bar Gnomes dies, and it's, I think, $31, and you'll get all the information that you need to go with that too. So and Tori says the luck of the Irish must be with you. I kind of feel that way today. It's a good day compared to yesterday. Like I said, 4 hours on the road to get to Sioux Falls back home when all the roads were closed. Yeah, did I mention that? The interstate was closed. We sat in line behind a jackknife semi yesterday. Wouldn't have been a great St. Patrick's Day. No luck with us. But my husband would say we were very blessed because we found so many back roads to get home 4 hours later. So, and we did make it home, so it's all good. So yeah, so that's where you find the main products from the gist of today's card. So what I want to show you then is kind of my color combination here, mint macaron and the fresh freesia, poking out just a little bit of that, and then basic white, or actually thick white is my card base. So what I'm starting with, and I'm just going to show you, it's not really a technique, but just like a little how-to when I'm making my card. So with the 6x6 gingham, or excuse me, country gingham 6x6 paper, that was the cute stuff from Valentine's Day. And so if you bought this, you might go, yeah, I'm not hardly using it for Valentine's Day products this year at all, because let me try and pull some of this out, because you'll see besides the sweet sorbet, there's balmy blue, there's mint macaron, and there's all these different patterns. So it's not like your normal DSP that has all sorts of colors going, it's more patterns. So then we've got some petal pink in here too, which does not look Valentine-y at all. So it's a really, really fun paper pack, because I have found my people love gingham. And so there's all my scraps. That's why I can't just shove it back together like I normally do. So I'll set that aside for later. So I'm pulling out the 6x6 here. And then what I do for this, oops, got my embossing plates and such, because I'm going to emboss for you guys, and I'm showing you an online exclusive product too. Okay, so I had to get that out of the way to get out my cutter, or my trimmer. Hi there, Julie. So I'm taking a 6x6 from that country gingham packet here, and I'm just going to cut this in 3-inch pieces. And actually, because this is thinner, sometimes I cheat and I double it up and cut 2 at a time. They're not intended to be cut in multiples. Every once in a while I'll cheat if it's just 2 sheets. So that works out fine. So now I've got 4 of these 3x3 little squares here. So then what I'm going to do is take just one of these 3x3 squares, and I'll bring that to my cut and emboss machine. And with the Stylish Shapes dies, I'm taking the largest of the stitch circle out of the Stylish Shaped dies. Hi there, Kay. And what I'm going to do is make this little piece here that is like so and like so. And yes, I could cut that down later, but why when we can just make one pass and call it good? So what I'm doing is lining up the circle so it just is past the tip of that, like so. So I'm just going to line that up so it's like that. And I'm trying to also keep like the same amount of space here and here, so it doesn't, you know, get lopsided looking. And then I'm just going to pass through, and then you can see here, here's my little, it almost looks like a cone shape. So that's going to be our little corner piece. And then you just have this little tiny piece for scrap that's going to get tossed. That's a good thing for me. A lot of times I don't want to toss things. So we'll see. Hopefully it does make it into the trash now that I've held you. You guys are holding me accountable. So that I'm going to set aside. All right. And then I have this now, 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. I had to think about what size this is. Mint macaron piece of cardstock. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have noticed these fun embossing folders. So one of the online exclusive products is the Basics 3D embossing folders. So you've got this one here. It's almost like star shaped, floral shaped. And I mean, even this is kind of hard to tell, but it's kind of fun. And then this one is really large polka dots, and I can't wait to do fun stuff with this. Polka dots always get me, guys. Like, I always want to use the polka dots, right? And then the one that I am using for you guys today is this one, which is just kind of a random stitching pattern. So you can see here, it's just kind of etched and stitched there. So what I'm going to do then is put this in here. So all 3 of those embossing folders come in a 3-pack for $30. So that's how they come. So I'm just going to switch gears here, plates, literally plates. Get my plate number 1 here, feed this in, and get my plate number 4 to go on top to run that through because it's a 3D embossing folder. And I'll show you that. I love this. I think it will be great for guy cards too, just because it just has like a kind of a masculine, you know, grungy kind of fun look to that. I really like that. So that's kind of going to be our background. And then let's get our cutting out of the way. So I'm going to grab my Memento black ink pad and my Stampin' Pierce mat here, because we're gonna take a photopolymer stamp here, the cute girl gnome, and ink that up in basic black. Hi there, Kim. And I'm just going to stamp her out like so. So we've got her. How cute is she, right? And then, not as cute as my granddaughter. It was a snow day today, so I got to spend a good hunk of time with them today and treat them at McDonald's, and that was fun. And she's kind of a cute little gnome most days. Okay, so I'm going to put my die that coordinates with her from the Gnomes dies, and then we'll be done cutting and embossing with the machine. Okay, so I'll run that through, and then we've got her all cut out. All right, so what I think I'm going to do next is do my coloring, and I kind of went crazy. It doesn't look like it. Like you see her, and yep, I think she kind of turned out cute. And I sometimes struggle with like what colors go together and such. And the first one I picked out, I think because it was St. Patrick's Day, just a lot of green. And I thought, you know, today it's perfect to do that. But then if I put her on my card, then it'll, like if you send this any other day, somebody might go, was she supposed to be sent for St. Patrick's Day only? So that's when I switched gears and I'm like, let's pull in some purple to go with the green, and then it'll just look like spring and cute. So that's why I changed gears. But I do think that she's kind of cute done in the green too. But because I'm going to color, and I'm using a ton of colors, so that was kind of even a surprise to me because I didn't think I would need that many colors. I'm gonna pull up my chair here. So I have all of these colors. I want to make sure that I've got my camera centered here. Like literally these are all the colors that I'm using, and you're like, how can you really use that many colors on just her? So I'm going to start with my Fresh Freesia, and I'll start with my dark Fresh Freesia first and pull the cover off here. And I'm just gonna go into the areas that I want to have darker. And so I'm going to go across kind of the bottom here of her little frock and then fill in going down. There's a little bit more tedious coloring to this one just because, but I think it's worth it, and it really doesn't take that much longer. So I'm just going to do her little cuffs there, the bottom, and that with, oops, and I'm going to do the center here of the cute little flower. So that's the dark Fresh Freesia, and then I'll come back with the light Fresh Freesia and just finish the flowers here, flower petals. And then I'm going to come and do the rest of her little frock or smock or whatever you want to call it, whatever gnomes wear. There's probably a pun on that, like it sounds like a dad joke or something, like what do gnomes wear, and then there's going to be something funny. So if you guys want to chime in and come up with something cute, I would love that. And it maybe could even tie into St. Patrick's Day, because there's always jokes for all sorts of different holidays. All right, whoops, and then there's always this little piece that I forget about right next to her little white piece. So I'm gonna leave that little piece white there, and then it's just gonna pop as well as her eye for the fact that it's not colored in. Okay, so next I'm going to go to her hat, and with that I've picked out let's see, the soft sea foam, and this is the light, so hopefully, yep, here's the dark. And I'm just going to start by coloring around the outside of the hat like so, And the colors, like I said, that I'm using for my cardstock today are Mint Macaron and Fresh Freesia. So using this light seafoam color is just a lighter way to tie in something that coordinates really well with the Mint Macaron without introducing a brand new color, just like a shade of it. And so that was the dark, just outlining and going over like the hash marks that the Stampin' Up! Artists put in their sketch art here. And then I'm just gonna go around and fill in everything else in with the light, soft seafoam. So we've got that. And then I'm going to go over her little pieces of skin with Stampin' Up! 800, SU 800. Hi there, Carol. Good to see you on here. And these are those like skin tone neutral or natural skin tone blends that they came out with. If you need help figuring out, okay, which colors are which to order and such, let me know. They're listed more with the accessories in the annual catalog, and I have a printout here to kind of help me for ordering with 800s and 400s and such. So that's the 800. So I'm just doing the face and the hands there, and then I'm going to do her hair. And so I'm going to do first the lighter one, which is SU 500, and I'm going to give her some brown hair. A lot of times I don't know, I think like the girls should be damsels in distress and be Cinderella or something. So I often color them blonde. I don't know why. And then next I'm going to go to SU 600, and that's just the next color darker. And so I'm just going to kind of outline these little braids, and the braids kind of turn into almost like tassels on the end of her braids here. And just kind of go and outline that. So I'm going to go down there, and then that's done too. Just kind of crisscross through the braids to give her hair a little bit of dimension through shading that way. And then the last thing I think I need to do then are her shoes. And I almost feel like I struggled most with that because I didn't know if I should go brown, but I didn't really want it to match her hair. So I went, okay, we're using Mint Macaron cardstock. Let's go Mint Macaron color for the shoes. So I'm using the dark Mint Macaron to do the majority here of the shoes, color that in. And then, like, this is like, seriously, Val, I pulled out the light Mint Macaron only to do those little peepholes showing at the top. And I could have probably easily used soft seafoam to coordinate those two little peepholes there. But here we go. And that's what I did there. Hey there, Sherry. Good to see you on here. All right. So I'm going to flip my camera up higher a little bit. And then you have a better view as I assemble all of this. So I'm actually going to probably just move all of these markers. Seriously, I don't think I've ever used this many markers in one project ever. And you know me, I love those markers. Okay, so to assemble my card then, I've got all these pieces here. And so from that same package, the Gingham 6x6 Country Gingham, I wanted a 5 1/4 by 3/4 inch strip. So I just, cut off this to make it 5 1/4, and then I'm going to cut 3/4 inch strips to get these little things. So that's how I came up with that. And then I am taking some thick basic white. So whenever I use the white for my card base, I always make sure it's a thick, just because it's a little bit better standability to put all the layers on. So let me just flip this over here, and I'm going to run a piece of my seal across there, some of that on that piece of strip of DSP. And just by eye, just kind of put that there. And then with this embossing folder here, like I said, I just love how it adds some texture. And because it's a 3D one, I want to make sure that my seal adhesive gets to all ends, all the way around, just so that it doesn't bubble up or anything, and make it look like it's not sticking. And then I press down really well on that there too. All right, so remember the first step I did, that 3x3 square that I cut down with my circle, stitched circle here. Now that's ready to go on. So I just put adhesive on there. Very easy to line that up here in the corner like so. And so now she's ready to go on too. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals and put about maybe 3 of those on her and just kind of center her there. And then next I'm going to take this same piece of basic white that I cut her out of, and I'm going to put my my sentiment on there. Oh, so my sister-in-law gets a night off, which is very rare to her. So no driving for volleyball. And I did stop in to see you last night at work after our 4-hour drive from Sioux Falls. And so we kind of felt guilty coming into town last night around 9 o'clock when other vehicles are lined up behind the stop bars because the highway's closed. But we made it in, and you probably are thinking, I wonder what those people are thinking when we could get in. Where did we come from? The back roads. But you weren't at work. Everybody got sent home, they said. All right, so I've got this sentiment here. There's Gnome 1 better than you. So I inked that up with the fresh freesia to get that to coordinate with the fresh freesia color of her little outfit there. And so with that, I'm going to take the punch here, and this looks like a bigger sentiment, and so I went, there's really no dies that this fits in really well that I could think of off the top of my head because it's a different shape. But then I went, you know what, this decorative label punch here, is that the name of it? Now I'm starting to guess. All of a sudden I went blank. This one from the annual catalog, it just centers and fits in there perfect. Okay, so I've got that, and I wanted to put this on my card, kind of like not in the center, but maybe off a little bit, and it just kind of looked like it was floating there in nothingness, but not the worst thing. And look at this. So this mint macaron piece is 3.5 inches. So I'm like, what happens if I just cut a skinny little trim piece that's 3.5 inches to just kind of set underneath there? And doesn't that look like it just ties it all together? And I'm just always happy when it can be a quick fix without having to, just go through all sorts of effort. And a lot of times we have these 1/2 inch strips just sitting around. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. There again, I'm a super saver when it comes to my cardstock, and this pays off when this happens. And so just to cut it down to 3.5 by 1/2 inch there really ties the card together, like I said. So then this I'm just going to pop over and add a few dimensionals here, 4 of those to make that pop up. And then I'm just going to kind of center it, but off to the side there. And now the front is almost finished. And if you guys know me, you know what's next when I say almost finished. What it needs is some accessories. So I've got these fun things. Obviously, you can tell I've been loving them a lot. Lots of pieces missing from the opaque adhesive backed gems. So you've got your Gorgeous Grape. There we go. Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo, Fresh Freesia, and then just the basic white. So I'm going to take and put a couple fresh freesia on here. Let me get my take your pick tool. I'm going to take the teeny tiny ones up here and just kind of put a couple of them on. And this is going to be a really subtle addition because it's fresh freesia on fresh freesia. So it just kind of ties in nicely. Thank you, Joyce. And what I love when you say this, and I know I've said it to you before, is you say, I like that like neat design. And so I know what you'll do, Joyce, is you're going to like copy this design layout and do other fun cards, and yours are going to look spectacular. And I love that I give you ideas just for different layouts, and that's my goal for all of you, not just Joyce. And then I'm going to take the tiny size here of the white and just put like 2 of those, and my goal there is to put them in the green little squares of the gingham design, because I did kind of put some off into the white and they just kind of like didn't show up at all. I mean, this is subtle here, but the white on white was just like, where did it go? Why put it on, right? But what I noticed when I put this on, and I never know what it looks like on your end, but I feel like once I put those on, now those little white gems almost look like they are light green, and like they've matched perfectly, almost like this does. So I don't know if it chameleonized on your end like it did on mine, but I thought that was kind of fun. So last thing I'm going to do is just take my sentiment here that says wishing you the most magical of birthdays, and I'm just going to ink that up in the fresh freesia as well and stamp that out. And I'm not going to do anything else with the inside, which is a little unusual, but I kind of like plain and simple today. And then that's just going to carry over the fresh freesia color pop that's kind of going on this. So there you have it, card number 4 for March. And like I said, it was so fun to put together, kind of a fun blustery coloring type of day. So yeah, thanks, Julie. That was really fun to do the circle die and make it look completely different. And sometimes when you go, I don't have the perfect die for this or that, well, sometimes what you have as a die already can look totally different. Like it doesn't look like a circle die anymore. So that's kind of fun. So thanks for that. So hopefully you guys can have a good weekend. Stay safe. It's not great out there yet for traveling. Lots of ice and blowing still on the road. So it might be a great day to craft. That's just my plug that I always want to say. So that was card number 4. How you can get my card set of 8 that I'm doing for the entire month of March is just place a minimum $75 order using the host code that I'm displaying here on my video, or with the still shot, or if you need help ordering, let me know, or if you just want the set of 8 cards, let me know and I will make those up for you, and that's $25 if you're not ordering. And then I will be back next week to do some more cards to keep finishing my series of 8. So I will probably see you back on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.